Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Root Beer here for question number 15 on our Grade 7 2009 contest. The product of three different, they bother to italicize that, so it must be important, different positive integers is 144. Okay, so 144 is something times something times something. Okay, well, the interesting thing about 144 is it has lots of factors, so we'll have to sort through them a bit. What is the maximum possible sum of these three integers? Okay. So, we want to to get a sense of the question, at least to start off, I would just say, well, can I get any three different positive numbers to multiply to 144? And yeah, it's not so bad to find a few. Let's see, 144 is 12 squared, so I know that 12 times 2 times 6 is 144. So there's one way. And what's that sum? 12 plus 6 plus 2, that's 20. Is 20 a possibility? Yeah, it is. Although it's the smallest possibility, so maybe I can do a little better. How about 12 times 3 times 4? I'm just playing around with it, seeing if I can understand patterns or anything like that. 12 plus 3 plus 4 is 19, so we've gotten a little worse. Okay. What else could we have? Well, you know what's a really big factor of 144? 144. It's 144. Now there's no room for anything else, so we'd have to do times 1 times 1. But you'd get 144. And you add these up, that's going to be 146. That's pretty big, and that's also on our list of possibilities, but this one's a trap. Remember, they said they wanted different. And we've got two ones here. So 146 is pretty big, but it's also not allowed. So could we think of maybe another really big value, another really big factor of 144? Well, I notice 144 is even. It's going to be 72 times 2. What if we use those ones? Well, their product's still 144, and if you need help finding these factors, plugging things in or trying things out on your calculator is a great way to do it. 72 plus 2 plus 1 is going to be 72 plus 3, or 75. That's pretty big. It's much bigger than 20. Is that on our list of possibilities? 75 is. And you know what? It's bigger than D or E, and since I know it's actually possible, it's going to be my answer. I know I can't get 146. That's too big. It's too big. We wouldn't be able to do it with different positive integers, but I can get 75, so I don't need to keep searching. Okay? Unless I thought there was some way to get 146 using three different positive integers, there's nothing else for me to do. I've beaten the other possibilities. There's no way D can be the answer. There's no way E can be the answer. There's no way A can be the answer. And I've convinced myself C can't be the answer. And we didn't even really have to get into a whole lot of theory or pattern recognition here. Okay? We just found some big numbers just as we were playing around. Okay? Now, in general, to get a really big sum, what you're going to want is the numbers to be sort of as different as possible. So take our first two examples here. The 12 is fine where he is. But 6 and 2 make 12. And they added up to more than 3 and 4 that also make 12. Okay, to get the bigger sum, we need our factors to be further apart. And that's exactly what we've got going on down here. 72 and 2 are as far apart as factors of 144 can really get. Okay? In general, if you want the sum to be as small as possible, you want the factors that you use to be as similar as possible. Okay, well, I want them to be sort of small. So if I were to grab my calculator and say I wanted to minimize the sum, here's a pretty good guess. I would use the cube root function on 144, because I want three numbers, right? Come on, cube root. I don't usually have to do that on this calculator. And I see it's about 5.2. So I'd expect my numbers to be close to sort of 5. So I could try 3 times 4 times 6. not quite big enough. Maybe 4 times 6 times 9. That's a little too big. But we can experiment around with things like that, and that would be our goal, to get sort of as small as possible. You want the numbers to be very, very similar. So similar that you're just multiplying sort of 3 of the same number, and that's why I used the cube root. But of course, this is a bunch of theory. You don't need to know this. We've got our answer, and in the future going forward, if you want to make a big sum, you want the factors to sort of be as different and spread out from each other as possible. And if you want a small sum, you want them clustered together so that they're all basically the same number. Okay? And as you go on in math, you'll learn a bit more why this works. But either way, we've got our answer. Let's actually, what was that? That's B, right? Let's actually add B and double check. Yeah, it is B. And that does it for question 15. Up next, of course, question 16. Feel free to join me for that in the next video. Also, feel free to give a like on the video or leave a comment. And I will see you guys in the next video for more math.